Probably the best way to define this concept is by reference to the idea of control. The United Nations is made up of 193 sovereign states, of which the UK is one. In principle, the governments of all those countries control a particular territory and are free to manage their own affairs as they choose. However, as with all 28 EU countries, Britain finds itself in a situation where successive governments have agreed to give up control over certain important policy areas. This was already the case starting in 1973, when the United Kingdom joined the European Economic Community, the forerunner of the European Union. Since that time, the number of areas where the British government has to take account of EU rules has expanded. For instance, the list now includes agriculture, environmental policy, and a host of issues associated with the single market, which covers the free movement of people, goods, services, and capital. None of this was accidental. The UK and other EU countries relinquished control in return for economic benefits and to tackle policy problems considered too complex for any individual country to resolve. But what is this tension about really? To answer that, I've decided to start the course by examining the sovereignty issues involved in leaving the EU or not. The net result of transferring sovereignty to the European Union is that there are many areas where the British Parliament cannot legislate as it pleases. That's why taking back control is a key argument for opponents of the European Union. In fact, survey data shows that for 41% of floating voters, returning sovereignty to Westminster is the most persuasive reason for leaving the European Union. It will be interesting to get feedback from course participants on whether they agree with that statement. Behind this Brexit argument are two interrelated claims. The first argument is that sovereignty should not be transferred from Westminster to Brussels because this dilutes the power of Parliament and is thus anti-democratic. The second claim is that the disadvantages of sharing sovereignty with other EU countries outweigh the economic benefits. To evaluate the merits of these two arguments, in this lecture, I will explore why exactly competences have been transferred to Brussels and with what consequences for democratic control. This approach allows for a better appreciation of the relationship between sovereignty and the power to achieve policy objectives, both within the European Union and outside of it.